So now that we have this, what we're gonna do, the first thing that we're gonna do is go to VPC, right? So you guys ready? For those following me? And
Yes, Professor.
And right now, I just realized that I'm not in North Virginia. You see? I'm in Ohio, right?
Freaking Ohio.
Yes, so I'm gonna go ahead and change back to Virginia. Has six instances there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and click here and launch VPC Wizard, and here, right? I'm not gonna use this guy because this guy is the wizard, and I have the options here to create a VPC with a single subnet, VPC with public and private subnets, VPC with public and private subnets and hardware VPN access, and VPC with the private subnets only and hardware VPN access. No, I don't want this because this is the easy way. I don't want the easy way. I want to create a VPC only, a subnet only, right? So I'm gonna cancel and exit. And I'm gonna click here, what it says, your VPCs. I click here, and right now I have my default one. I'm going to go ahead and create a VPC. Okay, as you can see, this is a different UI, yeah? And this is for a VPC only. So I'm going to call it my demo VPC. Okay.
Sorry, I'm at the wizard part. Which one did you select to get there?
Right here.
Oh, you went back. You didn't use the wizard?
I cancel and exit the wizard. There's a link. There's a
it's
link
like in the corner, and then you click your VPCs, and then
correct.
You don't mess with the one that's there.
No, that's the default one.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to create my own VPC.
Okay. Thank you.
So create a VPC, and then I'm going to call it my demo VPC, right? And it's good to understand all this because afterwards, when we finish the content and we start with the heavy duty things, we're going to create this from CloudFormation, and we're going to create this from Terraform. Okay. Right now, we're doing everything in the console, right? But we're going to do it with code, you know, probably next week. Okay. So we have here, we're going to say 10.0.0, just like we saw in the demonstration, 16. That's going to allocate 65,536 IP addresses. Okay. We're not going to have any IPv6 side block. This is fine. Tenancy is going to be default, not dedicated. It's a default tenancy. And by default, it just names the tag here, gives it the name as the key, and my demo VPC as the value. So that's it, guys. That's how you create a VPC. Create a VPC. That's it. Now take a look at your VPCs, and your VPC is there. You see? Perfect. That's it. Right? Now, when I create a VPC, a route table is created as well. It's right here. Right? The internet gateway is not created. I have to create an internet gateway. So right now, that's my second step. Right? I'm going to create an internet gateway. The internet gateway, don't forget, is the one that allows the VPC to access the internet. So this is my VPC, right? I'm going to go ahead and create an internet gateway. So you click here, internet gateway, right? And we create an internet gateway. You will see how easy these guys are to create them, okay? Look at this. It's just one name and that's it, right? It's just the name. So my demo internet gateway, right? And by default, it gives it a tag, okay? I create the internet gateway, and I click here, and my internet gateway is there. But it's detached, as you can see. So this has no relationship with the VPC whatsoever. I have to attach it. So I right-click. I can either click here on Actions and attach to VPC, or I can right click and attach to VPC. I have two options. So right now, when I click here, it's going to show me what VPC I want to attach it to. So here, I'm going to select the VPC, and this is the one. Why does it show me the default? Because it's one internet gateway per VPC. I cannot have two internet gateways to a VPC. So the only one that is available is this VPC. The other one is already connected to its own internet gateway. And by the way, it gives me the command line to do it from the CLI, as you can see here, right? So Amazon AWS EC2, attach internet gateway, VPC ID, it's right here, right? And internet gateway ID, this is the internet gateway, and the region is US East 1, Northern Virginia, okay? And the platform is Linux, Unix, OS, right? Go ahead and attach it. And now it's going to shows as attached. Did I attach it? Let me see. I did. It's already attached. So why? It's showing attached. Okay.
Refresh the browser, not the.
I'm refreshing this. Stays detached. Okay. It says that I attached it. Okay. It says that it's already attached to the network, VPC. Okay. 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 It's already attached. So that's what you're telling me. Perfect. Let me go back. See if it shows detached. Okay. This is weird.
Maybe it's bugged.
Probably.
Do you have to select it, Professor?
Huh?
Do you have to select it before attaching? Like
the
name next to the name, like there is a.
Oh no, no. If I use the button, yes, but if I use the right click,
okay.
I don't need it. So here it says that it's already attached. So this is weird. This is a bug.
Yeah,
so what I want to do is detach it. It doesn't give me the option to detach it, so I'm going to delete it. Okay, might not be able to delete it because you have the dependency. You see, I can't delete it. So I'm going to go ahead. Look at this. Look at everything that I have to do here. I'm going to delete the VPC, and then I will delete and I create the VPC again. So right now I have to go here to the internet gateway, and it disappeared. Good. So now I'm going to go back and create the VPC again, real quick. Does the same happen to you guys, or it work for you?
Same thing.
Yeah, the same thing.
It works for me.
It works for me.
It worked for me, Professor. It's
What the
attached.
heck?
It's a big mystery.
Yeah,
big mystery.
it says attached though, for you guys.
It says,
Yeah.
This is the,
Yeah, it says attached.
What the hell?
our known error occur when loading VPC. Okay. What?
What if we make the I don't think it matters. Make the gateway first.
It gave me an error telling me that I got an error loading the VPC, and the VPC is here. Okay, very weird. Let me go ahead and create the internet gateway again.
I deleted my VPC.
Okay. So let me attach it now. Okay. Attach VPC. Okay, now it shows attached. Okay. Weird. Really weird. Okay. Now it shows here the association between them. You see? Right? Perfect. So now it's attached. Okay.
Wait, what did you do when you got that error? An unknown error occurred when loading?
I just refreshed it. It was there.
You did retry? Oh, you just went back to the VPC?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it shows it. What the heck?
Very weird. I don't know. Something is going on with the console?
Okay.
It never happened before. Have you seen this before? I don't know. So now I have my VPC and my internet gateway attached. Perfect. So my VPC now has access to the internet. Okay. Now let me I want to create a public subnet and a private subnet. Okay, so I'm going to create a subnet here. So I'll click on subnet here, right? And I click create subnet, right? So the subnet is going to be inside my demo VPC. You see, I have the choices to create subnet in a different VPC, but I want to create it in the VPC that I created. Okay, so I'm going to create that. My subnet name is going to be public subnet 1, right? I'm going to give you that name. And then the CIDR is going to be 0.0.1, so maybe that's 0, and then 24. Okay, that's going to be the CIDR of my subnet. You see? Now I have the choice to create another subnet here, right? In the same UI, right? Okay, guys. So you select the VPC, you give it a name to the subnet. You say no preference. Well, I have a preference. I want to create it in 1A. Okay, I want to create this in 1A, right? 1A. So that's going to be my subnet, public subnet. Perfect. I'm going to get now another subnet, and it's going to be in the same availability zone, right? 1A. And this is going to be private subnet 1, right? Private subnet 1. You see the private subnet 1 is going to have 10.0.0.024. We have a problem now, guys. We have a problem. If I leave this like this, you see, it's going to overlap with this one. You see, they have the same CIDR. That cannot happen. So here, I have to use 1. You see, they cannot overlap. If you have 2 different VPCs, yes, you can have a 10.0.0.0.24. Fine, in a different VPC, but not in the same VPC. They cannot overlap. Okay.
Oh, weird. Like I did the autofill and it gave me 10.1.0.0.
Okay, good.
I didn't even notice that till now.
Yeah. So now I'm going to create another subnet, and this was going to be public subnet 2, right? And the availability zone is going to be a different one. Remember that a VPC can span multiple availability zones. So this one is going to be 1B. Okay. And this one is going to be 10.0.2.24. Right? Remember that it cannot overlap. 1 here and then 2 here. Right? Now I'm going to create another one, and this is going to be private subnet 2. Private subnet 2. Preference is going to be 1B. And this is going to be 10.0.3.24. Okay. So now I have 4 subnets. I create 2 subnets, one public and one private, in one availability zone, 1A, and another 2 subnets, one public, one private, in a different availability zone. But all of them are in the same VPC. Okay. So now that I have that, I can go ahead and create the subnets. And here you have created subnet 1, 2, 3, and there you go. They're created. Okay. As you can see, .0, .1, .2, .3. And what do we have here? What do we have here? How many VPCs did we say that this 24 has? How many? How many IP addresses? I'm sorry. How many?
4?
256.
56 and
Oh, yeah.
Amazon
This is
takes 5.
5,
And then
5 is reserved.
You see, it takes 5 automatically. So we only have 251 IP addresses in every subnet, right? We have a filter here. We have a filter. So if we clear the filter, all the subnets will show in the same part here. These are the default ones that are in this VPC. You see, different VPC. And these are the 4 ones that I created that are in my demo VPC. You see? So far, we have created a VPC. We created an internet gateway. We created 4 subnets, 2 privates and 2 publics, right? Now what we have to do is create the route tables, right? So we're gonna go ahead here, and we have a default route table that was created for me, this one. That's the default, but I want to create a custom route table, a custom route table. So we're gonna go ahead here and create a route table, right? This is gonna be called public subnet 1.
I have a different UI. You click route tables on the left, right?
Right here, yeah. And then you click create route table. Here.
Yeah, mine doesn't look like that.
No?
No,
Weird.
mine's like blue, and then I don't get the same.
Are
It
you
doesn't
using-
look. It doesn't
are you-
look updated.
Are you using a new, well, using the old one, right? Are
Let
you
me see.
using,
Yeah,
you
it's the
probably,
new VPS experience. Just checked like yours by default.
oh, okay, weird. Weird. I don't know what's going on. It's
I don't know.
supposed
I
to
don't
be the
have.
same.
I mean, I see the name in VPC, but it doesn't. It looks like it's an old version.
Yeah. Okay. Don't worry. As long as you have a name and a VPC select, you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm going to create, guys, I can use the same public route table for both public subnets, but I'm going to create a route table for every subnet for you guys to see, right? Because that's important.
I'm sorry. Before you move forward, is something wrong with my PV4?
Your PV4?
Yeah.
What do you mean your PV4?
I mean my CIDR block.
Your CIDR?
Yeah, my solder is not coming.
Okay, this is the CIDR that you should have.
Excuse me?
This is the CIDR that you should have.
Donovan, did you use 10.1 or 10.0?
Well, for the first one I used 10.0, and then I used 10.1.
You can't use 10.1.
No.
You have to use 10.0.1.
Okay.
So I did the same thing. So it has to be 0 on the second digit.
Yeah, remember when something working, the subnet bit, the subnet byte is the third one. And the fourth one is the interface. Okay.
Let me see here.
So when you do that, it's gonna work. Right?
Yeah, Shweta said she has the same UI, a different UI than you two. We have the old one, I guess,
Shweta?
for the router tables.
Mhm.
Yes, Professor, even I have the different one. And when we click on the create route table, it
Mhm.
shows it does not ask for the name. It says it directly takes you to for name tag.
Yeah, that's what I have too. Because it's the old
So
version.
is it the same?
Okay.
The name tag
Yeah,
means
yeah,
the
yeah,
name?
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
As long as you select the VPC, which I'm gonna do here,
Mm-hmm.
then you can say my maybe public subnet 1 route table. Okay.
Okay.
And that's gonna add the tag, right? Automatically. So that's gonna create the first route table.
Yeah, ours doesn't have a tag, right? Random,
Mhm.
automatically.
It creates you see I get an error, but still it creates the route table. Okay.
So we have to add tag and manually do it, I guess.
Oh,
Is there
Nathan-
spaces?
Nathan, next to route tables, do you have a new, or it doesn't show like the new sign?
No, I can
It
share my
doesn't.
screen and show you.
Okay, guys, as long as you have that, let us finish this because it's gonna take a long time. As soon as you have the VPC to select, and then you give it a tag or a name, it should create the route table. That's not the main thing here. The main thing is we have to edit the routes, right? So as you can see here, main is not the main, the one that we just created. It's not the main. So I'm gonna create another route table, and this is gonna be public subnet 2 route table, right? I do this because when I associate the subnet with the route table, it's easy to find it if I name it this way. right? It's easier to identify it. That will create the second route table. So now I have 2 route tables, right? Perfect. Now I'm going to create the third route table, and this is going to be the private one. So private subnet 1 route table. Select the VPC, and that's it. And I'm going to create another route table, and that's going to be the other private one. And that's going to be private subnet 2 route table. Select the VPC, and that's it. So right now, even though it gives me an error here, it still creates it. I don't know why. Let's give you an error. Okay, so now I have the 4 route tables, right? Okay, perfect.
So when you creating the route tables, are you trying to coordinate the same subnets with the
Not yet, not yet. I just created, I gave it a name, selected the VPC. I haven't associated the route table with the subnet yet.
Okay, so
I just created the route table with the VPC. That's it.
so you can use the default VPC.
No. I'm using the VPC that I created,
Okay, got it.
the one that I created. Okay, I'm doing my own thing now. I'm not using any default settings from AWS. I'm using my custom created resources. Okay, I'm using my custom VPC. I'm using my custom subnets. I'm using my custom route tables.
Right.
So now I'm going to start.
So what I'm saying, I understand it's custom, so it should show up at the bottom of the VPC window, automatic.
What do you mean at the bottom of VPC?
Let me show you my screen right quick. I'll show you.
Go ahead.
So it should show up down here. You're saying. So this is one you're using.
Okay, give it a name.
If I do a private one.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, close. That's it. Shows there.
Right. So that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have 4. So you should have.
Yeah, you have to create but you said private VPC. You're not creating a VPC. You're creating a subnet.
Okay.
But take a look at the names that I used.
I got you. That's cool.
Okay. Take a look at the name that I used. So I should share my screen.
All right.
These are the names that I use. Public subnet 1 route table, because this route table is going to be for the public subnet 1. Public subnet 1 route table, 2 route table, private subnet 1 route table, and private subnet 2 route table.
Okay. So those names you're using there is going to be later on coordinated with the other names you used before.
When I associate them.
Okay.
But that has to be manually done. Okay. So right now, if I check this guy, the first one, the public subnet 1 route table, I'm going to bring this up, right? The public subnet 1 route table. I'm going to, first, I'm going to have a route, right? And right now, I have a local route, which I cannot remove. This is the one that every single subnet has a local route here, all of them, right? So this guy here in the routes, right? I have to, this is the public one, right? So what makes a public subnet public?
Opens the internet.
Propagated, set the yes.
No. What makes a public subnet public?
Yeah, because it's been linked to associated to a route table that's connected to the internet.
to the internet. How?
The internet gateway.
Correct. So now what I have to do here is edit the routes. And I will
Excuse me,
have
sir.
to- Yes.
Can you pause for like a few seconds? Let's be on the same page because we're still creating the route tables, please.
Okay.
I guess you're going so super fast.
Do you think I'm going fast?
Yeah.
Once you create the first one, the other three are the same thing, basically. The only thing that changes is the name. So copy and paste. Copy the name, change it, paste it, paste it, paste it. That's it. And change the word public for private. We haven't done anything else. Who was able to create the 4 subnets?
I did.
I did.
Who else?
I did too.
Who else? Utah,
Yes, I've done.
Priyanka,
Yes,
Priyanka.
yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm getting an error in one of my, I'm trying to create this table.
Did you already create it?
No, I'm getting an error now. I'm trying, when I go to my 4th one and my 3rd one, I'm getting an error saying, it's a funny error. You said you got an error too, Professor, but this is like a different error than you got.
Okay, click route tables. Most likely they are already there. Click here, route tables. Do they show?
But the name's not, the route table is showing up, but not the name showing up for some reason. Let me show you right quick. Let me see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
For some reason, it's,
Because the name is optional, you probably didn't give it a name. And you click create route table. But it's easy. If you step on there, click there, change the name. So add edit tags. The last one. Okay. Create a tag, please. And just say name, uppercase N, name. And just give it public subnet 1 route table. So you guys can edit the name there. Public subnet 1 route table. 1.
see what I'm saying?
All right, let me control your screen, Mr.
Okay.
Okay. So this guy. Okay. So this one, we're gonna name it private subnet 1 route table. Okay. Okay. This one, we're gonna name it public subnet 1 route table. Right. This one, we're gonna name it private subnet 2 route table. And you're missing one, must be this one, I guess. You created 4, right? You created 4 route tables, right?
Well, no, not really.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
So this one's gonna be public. Subnet 2 route table. That's it.
Okay. What? So what's so what's the second one? What is that?
The second one, this is a yes, this is the main table. That's the
Okay.
one that is created by default when you created the VPC.
Okay, and the
And
last,
this is the last, this is the one by default for the default VPC. So you have two VPCs, one default and one custom.
Okay.
Every time a VPC is created, a route table is created as well. So this one is for the custom, for the default VPC, and this one is for your VPC.
Mhm.
Okay, remember if you click here, you have two VPCs,
okay,
one route table for each. Those are the main route tables. It says here main, yes, and yes.
okay,
Yours are not main because they're custom,
okay, got it.
right? Very good. So far so good. So we continue now. Let us change the route of the first one. This is public. Basically, we're gonna change the route for the public guys first, okay? So I'm gonna go here, click the public one, here the routes, right? I'm going to edit the route, and I'm gonna add the route. And the route that I have to add is the internet gateway. So I'm gonna say here, this is the internet, right? And here, I'm gonna say internet gateway right here, and then it will give me the ID of the internet gateway that is attached to this VPC, right? Okay, so we are making this subnet public right now by adding a route to the internet gateway. We click here, save changes, and now my route table will allow my subnet to be public. And what is the next step? Associate my public subnet. Where's the name of this route table? My public subnet 1 to be public. How do we do that? Subnet association.
Professor, how did you add the target? Like for the when you added
Okay.
the routes?
Edit routes, and then
Okay.
add a route, chose this guy, and here I selected internet gateway,
Okay, thank you.
and it will show the ID right there. Okay, right, and that's it, right? It shows there. Now that I have this, what I have to do is associate my public subnet 1 route table with my public subnet 1. How do I do that? Subnet association, and then I select the one that I need to select. So I edit the subnet association here. It shows me the 4 subnets in this VPC. So I choose the one that I'm gonna link it to, right? Subnet 1. That's the name of the table, subnet, public subnet 1 route table. That's why I named them this, almost the same, right? So that I can identify them later. So public subnet 1 route table with public subnet 1 subnet. So now I go ahead, save association, and right now, my subnet is public, as you see there. It is public right now. Why? Because it's associated with a route table that contains a route to the internet gateway. Right? You see here, public subnet 1, and the table is public subnet 1 route table.
Professor, are you clicking on save changes or save associations? Sorry.
Okay, I edit association and save association.
I think I'm not.
Okay, I'm gonna do the second one because I have to connect the second route table, the second public one, which is this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and create the route first, route, and I'm gonna do the same thing, edit the route. I'm gonna add the route to the internet, right? And here I'm gonna say, you can say internet gateway. It shows here, and it shows the internet gateway ID. And this is weird. I don't know what this is. Okay. And now I save changes. My route table has an entry to the internet gateway, as you can see. Now I have the subnet to associate the subnet, the public subnet 2 with the public subnet 2 route table. Okay, so I click here. So I have 3 other subnets that are not associated with the route table. I click edit subnet association, and the one that I have to associate is the public subnet 2, as you see here, right? With this route table. Now I go ahead and save the association, and my subnet 2, public subnet 2, is automatically public, right? It's right here. It's public, right? So I have 4 subnets that I created. 2 of them are public because they are connected to a route table, as you can see here, public subnet 2 route table, public subnet 2 route table. They're associated, and the entry is the internet gateway. Okay, perfect. That's the number 2. Number 1, it has a route. It's connected to the public subnet 1 route table. It has an internet gateway here as one of the entries, one of the routes, and that guy is public. So we have 2 public and 2 private. That's what makes a subnet public, not the name, but this association with the route table that contains a route to the internet gateway. Now, I can go ahead and create a web server, an instance, an EC2 instance with an Apache server installed. I can have some HTML file there and deploy or launch my EC2 instance in either public subnet 1 or public subnet 2, and it will show the output in the browser because it's public. It's a public subnet. Now let us create.
We're not touching the private subnets because we don't need any association, right?
If I create a NAT gateway, yes, I'm going to create a NAT gateway now.
Oh, okay.
But right now they're private. They have no connection to the internet whatsoever. They cannot run updates or maintenance or anything because there's no connection to the internet. I need a NAT gateway for that. So I'm going to go ahead and create a NAT gateway. Guys, if you get a NAT gateway, please remove it immediately after you finish, because I had a student who was charged for a NAT gateway because he left it running. He forgot about it. Okay, and NAT gateway is not free. Okay, so I'm going to create a NAT gateway, and NAT gateways are placed in a public subnet. So I'm going to say my demo NAT gateway, right? So NAT gateway, I'm going to put it in the public subnet 1. Remember, they are put in a public subnet. And of course, I have to allocate an elastic IP for that particular NAT gateway. So what I can do is come here. Come here and create an elastic IP here, right? I'm going to create an elastic IP. It's going to be in the US East 1. It's going to be taken from the Amazon's pool of IPv4 addresses. And this is for NAT name and demo NAT gateway public subnet 1.
So should we follow along with this NAT gateway because of the charges?
Just to play safe, don't do it.
Okay, I'm not gonna do it.
Don't do it, just to play safe. So I'm gonna allocate this guy. So I'm allocating the first one. I'm gonna allocate another one because I have to create 2 NAT gateways because I have remember that I have two public subnets. and 2 private subnets. So I'm going to create another one, and the tag is going to be name, and I'm going to say demo, and I'm going to subnet 2. Okay, perfect. I'm going to allocate that. So now I have this guy. Okay, I have 2 elastic IPs. Okay, 2 elastic IPs. Okay, perfect. So I'm go back here. I'm gonna copy this guy because I have to refresh the page. They don't show here yet. I have to refresh the page. And if I refresh the page, they will show. They're right here. So I'm gonna call this one demo subnet, not gateway, public subnet 1. Right.
So you're doing it elastic because if the DHCP goes out, you'll have a static IP, right? Or an elastic IP.
One of the reasons, yes,
Okay.
you want to keep that IP at all times.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm gonna say public subnet 1. You know, I'm trying to use similar names so I can associate things and do it, you know, easier to identify, right? So that will create my first NAT gateway, right? And now, NAT gateway, my first NAT gateway here is pending. I'm going to create my second NAT gateway. So that's going to be public.
So can one NAT gateway be associated to 2 subnets
to
make things easy?
Yeah, but I want to do it separately because remember that my subnets may have different routes, and there are different availability zones as well. I don't like that. You can do it. You can do it, but I don't like that. But if you think about it, it makes sense because you're saving on cost.
Yeah, that's what I was
So
saying.
let me take a look at this, and let me release this guy. Okay, I'm gonna rename this guy, and I'm gonna say here public subnets. Right? Okay, public subnets. Okay. Who was that? Who said that? Kenneth. Good idea. Good idea. So I have a NAT gateway here, which is pending, still pending. Okay, so I'm gonna create. I'm going to.
So you're creating 1 instead of 2, like Kenny was asking?
Yeah. NAT gateway.
Yeah, to cut cost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you're
yeah.
associating 2 elastic
Yeah.
IPs to it. Is that what's happening?
You're associating to 2 subnets.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, but the problem is, okay. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, let me rename this. Okay. All right, good. Very good. So I'm still pending here. Oh, it's available now. So what I'm gonna do now that I have my demo NAT gateway, right? What I'm doing now is I'm going to associate the tables with this guy. So I'm gonna go back to my VPC, right? Route tables, right? And I'm gonna work on the NAT gateways. Okay, so I'm gonna add the route here. And this one, as it is a private subnet, it has to have 1 to the NAT gateway. Okay. And now it's going to show here the NAT gateway ID, right? And save the changes. So we just associated out we haven't associated yet, but we created an entry to the NAT gateway. So this whatever resources we have in this subnet that we're going to associate now, which is private subnet 1, right? Everything that you put there, databases, applications, will point to this guy, and then they will be able to connect to the internet, okay, through the NAT gateway. Okay.
Why
So
does
I'm
it?
gonna.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says explicit subnet associations private subnet 1, but you're using private subnet 2 route table.
Did I do that?
Yeah, see what it says at the very top. You successfully put underneath private subnet 1. I see the subnet ID.
Okay. It doesn't matter. They're both.
Yeah,
they're
yeah. I was
both-
just
But let me change that and say this one. Okay, makes more sense.
yeah.
Okay. Well, we want to have things that match. You know, association here, private subnet 2 with route table 2. Perfect. So now I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. Now we're doing exactly the same thing, but instead of pointing to the internet gateway, we're pointing to the NAT gateway. So this is going to be number 1. And then we say route, we add the entry to the NAT gateway, right? Say 0, we say NAT gateway, and then we use this guy, save the changes, and now associate the private subnet 1 with the public subnet 1 route table. We do that. We have only one left here. So that's going to be this one. And well, we're officially done here with this part. Okay, you see, it's a lot of steps, right? But we're officially done with this here. All of my subnets are fine. Now what I have to do is deploy an EC2 instance in every subnet, public subnet with an Apache server installed, and then I will be able to see how it works. And it works. You see the internet in action. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and create an EC2 instance. Okay. Come here, EC2 instances. We choose the Amazon AMI. We leave this guy here the way it is. And now here I have the choice to choose the public subnets. So I'm going to choose, of course, this is the default VPC. I'm going to use my VPC, right? And now I will be able to see the 4 subnets that I created. I'm going to select the public subnet 1, which is public, okay? I'm going to enable this guy, and I'm going to install the Apache server. Okay. I'm going to install the Apache server. Okay. Let me look for the code. Okay. Okay. I can type it here, but I want to get that and paste it here so I can save time. Okay. I have it here. Perfect. So now I can go ahead and type this guy. Not type, paste it here and the user data, right? So remember we did it before, like yum -y update, yum-y install HTTPD, systemctl start HTTPD, systemctl enable HTTPD, instance ID, and then we get this curl, the metadata to get the instance ID, and the host to get the host, and then we say echo HTML H1 instance ID, line break, host, and Northern Virginia. That's the region. And then we redirect that to an index.html file that is inside HTML, that is inside www, that is inside var. Okay. So now we go ahead and add storage. And of course, guys, I pasted that on Slack, right? I paste it again. Remember to change the quotation marks. Okay, that's very important. Now add the tags, and I can say here that this is a server, web server. Okay, public subnet 1. And I should have here, I should have put here something here like probably subnet 1. Okay. Maybe subnet 1, probably subnet 1. Right? Good. So I added something there. Tags, fine. security group, I can use the Apache one. I don't have a security. Okay. Wow. So I'm going to go ahead and create a security group here. I say Apache server security group. And then I can have the same thing, but this time we're going to separate it, right? I don't need SSH into my instance. I don't need that now. So this is only for HTTP. Okay. And that's it. Perfect. Okay. Yes. So now review and launch. Okay. Guys, I'm going a little faster because I guess by this point, you know how to create instances, right? And create security groups. So my first guy, it's already created, right? My first guy is already created. And I'm going to create the second guy, right? So I'm going to do the same thing. And now here, I'm going to select my custom VPC, and this is going to be published on that too. Enable this guy, and then I'm going to paste this guy. Oh, no. I'm going to copy from my records and paste this here. And here's, I'm going to say publish on that too. Okay, perfect. So now I can go ahead and continue, add storage tags, and then I can say name and Apache web server, publish on that too. Okay. And then configure security group. I can select an existing one, this one, right? Review and launch. Okay, I know that I will not be able to connect to my instance through SSH port. Okay, that's a problem. That's not a problem for me. So launch and launch an instance. So right now I have two instances. They are, let me change this to Apache. Okay. So Apache web server public subnet 1, Apache web server public subnet 2. I have here the security group, everything, the subnet 1A, 1B. Okay. And right now I have the two instances here. So now if I get the IP address, okay. Sometimes it takes a little longer. Okay, security group has 4A opened. There you go. So perfect. So let us see the second one. Perfect. So guys, you see, we created our own thing. We don't depend on the default settings anymore. We have our own VPC, our own subnets, our own route tables, our own routes, our own Ethernet gateway, our own NAT gateway, our own instances. Everything was created by us. And then we can see here that it works. It works. We just deploy two instances. We launched two instances in two public subnets created by ourselves, right? You see, guys, how cool this is?
Yeah, Professor.
This is architecting. Okay, go ahead.
There was a pop-up that said that you can't SSH into.
That's fine.
Yeah. So
because, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, why can't you when you already have like the NAT gateway that can be configured to in such a way that you can?
This is a web server, right? This is a web server. We don't need, for now, we don't need to have port 22 open. We're not going to SSH. We should have it. We should have it because we want to edit the file, add more HTML code, right? We should have it, but for this demonstration, we don't need it. We just need to deploy something and show it in the browser. That's all we need for this demonstration, right? The next time you do it, leave port 22 open and use the SSH key, just like I did here. I use the SSH key, but I never open port 22. What I can do now is go back to my security group and edit the security group here, the Apache security group here, right? The one that I just created. It has only two entries here. This one here, right? This is the one that I just created. It has only this guy. What I can do is edit this guy and add SSH, right? Right here, right? And use my IP address. Good practice, right? Best practice. That's it. That will apply automatically. Automatically. It would not take minutes or seconds. No. It's automatically applied. So now if I go back to my instances and I try to SSH into my instances, one of my instances, for example, this one, right? Because I have the same security group for both, okay? So I can SSH into my instances real quick, right? Let me move to where my key is. My key is, okay? It's in the desktop. Okay, good. So now I can make this bigger, SSH into that. And then I can use this guy. So yes, and there you go. Right? So you can edit your security groups after you have created the instances. Right? Now, both instances, I can log in, I can become a pseudo user or a root user, and I can nano var HTML, no, sorry, www HTML index.html. And there you go. So this is where the code is, right? And I can fix this. I can change the colors just in case. I'm going to say here style and maybe say color blue, right? I can save this, and this is Northern Virginia public subnet 1. I can come here back to my guy, subnet 2, subnet 1, refresh, and this is blue. Okay. So
why do we need a jump box now?
A jump box? You mean the NAT gateway? The NAT gateway?
The Bastion host.
No, we don't have a Bastion host here. We don't have it. A Bastion host is to secure your private resources. We don't have a Bastion host. We could have created a Bastion host, but we don't want to make this more complex than it is. AWS already contains a quick start for a Bastion host. You don't have to write any code or anything. So Bastion host, AWS quick start, right? So here it is. So if you, let me see here, deploy into an existing VPC. Okay, it already contains a template in CloudFormation. AWS already contains the code that has everything that a Bastion host needs. And a Bastion host, it is there like a proxy server. You want to protect your private instances, so you have like a jump box in the middle. So it is similar to a NAT gateway, similar. It's just another, but the NAT gateway translates. The Bastion host is just like another layer of security to protect your private instances, right? You want to put another layer of security. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't have a bastion host. That was not the purpose of this demonstration. Well, a bastion host, the word says it all. It's a bastion. It's like a castle, something that is strong, right? Like a
Yeah,
fortress. A
I was
fortress
just
that
confused between
What-
the Bastion host and the NAT gateway. That's what was confusing me.
a NAT gateway is just to translate. A NAT gateway a NAT gateway doesn't protect as much as a bastion host. NAT gateway, the main function of the NAT gateway is to translate the private IPs of the resources into a public IP so that you can access the internet. Remember that the database, you have to update it. You have to maintain it, right? You have to do some maintenance, right? But where is the most source of updates and repairs and all that? In the internet, right? So you have to download patches, download things from the internet. How can you do that if you're not connected to the internet gateway? Your subnet is not public, right? So you need a connection to a NAT gateway, right? So that the private resources can get internet access, right?
Hey, Professor.
Yeah.